All right, we are alive. Barstool Units episode 47. I'm Coach Duggs with the raspy voice. With me, as always, the honorable Frank the Tank Fleming. Frank, how you doing?
Pissed. I'm really fucking pissed.
No, what happened this time?
I mean, the Miami Dolphins, they are a rudderless franchise, an absolute rudderless franchise with no leadership. And Chris Greer gets to keep his job again. Again, he keeps his job. I mean, he's gone through more coaches every 3 years. It's like rinse, repeat, and they keep turning out. And they finally had a good coach in Brian Flores, but nope, he's gone, and I hear they're going to bring in someone who is going to be atrocious, awful. And it's going to be losing is when you lose, you learn from your losses. Smile, smile, and all the other carries Ariana Grande on the orange carpet.
Yeah, I use the orange carpet is like the red carpet for the Dolphins.
Yes,
Have they ever used that before? Is that like a known thing in Miami? Like celebrities? Is that like
they would
celebrities'
send
entrance
the
to the game?
Dolphins about as they've been terrible now for 20 years. About when Stephen Ross first brought the team, would send out tweets. Guess who's on the orange carpet this week? Or like
Gotcha.
email. Guess who's on the see the celebrities that were on the orange carpet to watch the Dolphins game.
Like if Joe Buck was an NFL owner.
Yeah,
Yeah, look at all the celebrities that were here. Who cares about the game?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And basically, Joe Ross wanted the reason he wanted to buy the team was so he could rub elbows with celebrities.
yeah. Well, that's I mean, we've talked about it before with when you have billionaire owners, and it seems it's not the same. It's not the same as like like an old town or like an old school minor league baseball team where like the local millionaire would like own the baseball club. Like that's fun and everything, or where we were this weekend, minor league hockey, where, in Adirondack, the Glens Falls, they have like a coalition of business owners owns the team. That's cool. It's not cool when you're a billionaire owner of a major franchise and you don't care about the sport at all. You just care about the notoriety. It's not a toy. It's just something. It's a trophy you have.
Essentially, they wanted to draft Tua Tagovailoa because he was famous. And basically, Brian Flores, who's on the field, sees Brian Flores up close. Basically, goes, "I don't think this guy's a quarterback." And Chris Greer says, "No, he's our future."
Yeah. And so
And
that was pretty much so. Flores is out as Miami's head coach, and is
I,
that
I
pretty?
actually, I'm actually wondering if Chris Greer is two and on.
You think so?
Because two and on always says that Brian Flores is trying to sabotage Tua.
I mean, it wouldn't be the craziest thing. It would
I,
not be the
I mean,
craziest.
the Dolphin general manager being the guy with that stupid mask and those
Yeah,
videos. I mean,
push.
it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world that Chris Greer is two and on.
Yeah. Have you tweeted that out yet? You might want to get that conspiracy started. It's not a conspiracy if it's true.
I mean, it's just bewildering. It's the first time the Dolphins have had back-to-back winning seasons since 2003. It's the first time they've swept the Patriots since 2000. It's the first they've only had. They went from 1970 to 2003. They've only had two winning seasons. From 2004 through 2019, they only had three winning seasons. And I'm not counting 8-8 seasons or 500 seasons. So those could either count as losing or winning seasons. They're not. When I
Yeah.
say losing season, I mean under 500. When I say winning season, I mean over 500. So I'm
Yeah.
not saying. And they had a lot of 8-8s, especially in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I
Now,
mean, it's just you wash in mediocrity, and they got that win on Sunday, and it's something to build on. They have a lot of cap space. I already hear that they're already going to look to trade Xavier Howard. Mike Gesicki, they have no plans to actually re-sign him.
You don't want Gesicki to stay, do you?
I would like him to stay. I don't think it should be a number one priority. I mean, if he goes, he goes. They have other tight ends out there. Smythe is pretty good. Their priority needs to be the offensive line, and these are good players that you like to keep. They have a lot of cap space, and they're not going to use it. They're gonna continue to trade players. David Howard's probably going to get traded for like a seventh round pick because they love those seventh round picks. They'll trade another. They love to trade down in the draft to get value picks. They call it value picks. No,
Yeah.
no, no, no. You're buying Bowling fucking Basket is what you're buying. The generic brand. No frills.
Let's do a
Going
tanks
to a
ad,
dollar store.
let's do a tanks advocate here. What what is a reasonable reason that Flores would have been fired? I
That
mean,
next year,
he didn't have the best record over 3 seasons, did he?
last two, he had a bad first season. But keep in mind, the team he was handed in 2019 was garbage. Garbage. They got blown out, embarrassed in their first 4 games. Where really, like, they looked like a team that was going to go winless. They went 0-7 to start the season. They finished 5-11. They won 5 of their last 9 games, beat the Patriots in Foxborough. But the Patriots, if they would have won the game, would have had the 1 seed. Instead, they ended up with the 3 seed.
Had to play Tennessee.
They had to play Tennessee and lost. You know, the reason why the Patriots went to all those Super Bowls and AFC Championship games, they never had to play that wild card weekend.
Yeah, it's a big benefit. It's a big
And
benefit. Well,
they took advantage of that time and time again, where you give Bill Belichick 2 weeks to prepare for a divisional playoff game. The chances of him losing were almost non-existent.
yeah, yeah. I mean, how many times did the Patriots lose in the first round besides that loss to Tennessee in the past 20 years?
Well, almost none of their Super Bowls. In fact, I don't think any of their Super Bowls they were the 3 seed.
Yeah,
They were always the 1 or the 2. Always the 1 or the 2. Every time,
that
1 or 2 seed.
helps. So Flores is out. Urban Meyer's out. Matt
And
Nagy's
I'm just dreading who the Dolphins are going to hire. Chris Greer's going to get to choose the coach. You know how he can't pick his nose. He can't. Their offensive lineman got pushed around like a fucking shopping cart. You know the Dolphins are an organization. It's an ocean of idiots, and the only smart person in the room, Brian Flores, was drowned today.
it's wild that we both have our issues with our teams, but they're just so vastly different issues. We have a Jaguars have a GM who God bless the Jaguars social media team, because for the past few weeks they've just been having to make posts knowing that they're going to get ratioed with a bunch of clown faces. Trent Baalke is still the GM. My main issue with the Jaguars GM is that he wanted to be the Jaguars GM. And I know that sounds silly because obviously you want somebody who wants to be there. But the circumstances around that, where Shad Khan said he was pretty much going to make picks and they hadn't had a coach yet, so it was going to be Shad Khan making picks, Urban Meyer running the team. There was no accountability or anything. And here comes Balke, and it's like, why? If you want a job where you have no accountability, then maybe I don't want you in that job. But so he's still there. We'll see who they go for as coach. Somehow they named Bill O'Brien.
I've heard that name mentioned in Miami, and good God, good God, good fucking God, he ran the Texans into the ground like a jackhammer.
Yeah, and then well, Somebody mentioned, yeah, he's good. Just don't give him control over the team, over the roster.
And I know the Dolphins are going to get rid of Xavier Howard. I
I mean,
know.
why would they? Isn't he like your number one player?
Yeah, well, that's all the Dolphins ever do. They trade the number one player. They trade him for draft picks, and then trade the draft picks for more draft picks. What they do is they trade the top players for like first and second rounders. Then they'll trade the first and second rounders to get three third rounders. Then they'll trade the three third rounders to get four fourth rounders. And they'll trade
Or
the
fourth
four fourth rounders to get seven seventh rounders.
Like you skipped a few rounds there.
Yeah, well, the Dolphins' philosophy is quantity over quality.
When it comes to draft picks, I mean, you want more draft picks. I mean, isn't that how Jimmy Johnson built the Cowboys?
Yeah, but he built it on first, second, and third rounders, not seventh
Oh
rounders.
that makes a big difference.
Well, the Dolphins have had a ton of second round, third rounder picks, and they still get Miles Gaskin and Liam Eckenberg.
Yeah, well, you know,
I
we can
mean,
go
I
back.
mean, the Dolphins' offensive line got pushed around like a shopping cart.
Yeah, who would who is a coach you would obviously you're not happy that Flores is out, but who is a coach that if he came in, you would say,
There's not a
oh
single coach out there right now that I want.
yeah, that so not only that you want, but that would get rid of any issues you have with him getting rid of Flores.
No.
You wanted Flores, you wanted that momentum going into another season.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
They're starting back. It's like they were starting to build something, and they said, "Take six."
yeah, yeah, that's got to be
And
frustrating
I
when you
mean, they've
feel
been rebuilding for 20 years now, and I could just imagine who they're going to bring in. They're going to bring in Matt. You watch; it's going to be Matt Nagy.
I don't what honestly, what are the odds they brought in Matt Nagy? What are the odds they even interview Matt Nagy?
You just watch. I know this organization. Or
Well,
who are they going to hire? I even heard Hugh Jackson's on the short list.
yeah. How about Urban Meyer?
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. They are
Hey,
that
he's a good
dumb.
coach.
They are that stupid.
I could definitely see them saying, "Hey, he's a good coach. Now he has NFL experience and he's learned from his mistakes. He's learned that you can't kick the kicker."
They are so stupid. Matt, who's another one? Vic Fazio just got fired from the Broncos. Mike
Yeah,
Zimmerman. I mean, who is out there? The hot young assistant who has to learn on the job experience. So we're back to where we were in 2019 again.
yeah, yeah. I feel like that's probably. I mean, every time a coach gets fired, you're just like, "All right,
I
see ya.
heard I heard there's a
He won."
possibility they might even consider bringing back Adam Gase. They are that stupid. This team is that fucking stupid.
Frank, when you say like you hear things, like you heard they might bring back Adam Gase, are these comments you're reading off of Twitter?
No comment.
All right, fair enough. Well, we've gotten the bad stuff out of the way. Let's talk about the good stuff. We had a fun weekend, a great weekend, a profitable weekend for one of us. Um, Little minor league hockey tour for the
Yes,
Devils.
indeed.
We went up to Glens Falls
Glens
and
Falls and Utica.
in Utica. Glens Falls. We had a great time in both cities. It was freezing cold. I think I did a pretty good job driving in the snow.
Yeah,
Walking on the
yeah,
ice
you did a
is
good
one
job
thing.
driving. Although
Yeah,
R.I.P. to my two flags. I never thought those
yeah,
flags. I never thought my flags would have that much of a trouble. I mean, I always drive around with the flags. I mean, it's I drive around with the flags, and they always do well. I guess when you go a little too fast, the flags start to fly off.
Let's rephrase that. Not when you go a little too fast. When you go on the highway for more than an hour at a time, that might be a little bit too much for the flags.
So, well, I've learned. I'll put my new
Okay?
American flag on the car tonight.
And we'll take them off whenever we get the highway.
That sounds like a
All
good
right, you
deal.
two. So what? We lost a Mets flag and an American flag.
Yep. Well, I've ordered some new flags.
You ordered some new flags before we even left Utica, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As soon as the flag went off, you brought up Amazon on your phone. Well, so yeah, the flags didn't make it, but we made it.
I might even
Did
put
I,
some more decals on my car. I really got to like bling it
you
up.
know, I did hear some people talking about how they don't recognize your car without more decals. They've said it's very difficult to know which car is yours. You don't have enough decals.
I got to support the team.
Got to support the team. Hey, listen, lifelong Devils fan. I understand that. Uh,
You notice I have New Jersey Devil license plates.
I did notice that. I did notice that. But yeah, so driving the snow is not too bad. We got to Glens Falls, Adirondack, and they had us come out. I mean, if you haven't seen it now, I don't know what you I don't I think you've been off Twitter all weekend. If you haven't seen it now, they took us out on the ice in the after the first period and let us shoot some pucks. And Frank got puck in net from the blue line and center ice and won $600.
I mean, sometimes you got to be lucky on those shots, and my main goal was to hit the board.
Yeah,
I mean, if you miss and you hit like the side of the board, you know, you made a
you
good
tried.
shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I basically aimed for the board and just found a hole.
Yep. Yep. And now on the first shot, you made it. We got two pucks on the blue line each and two pucks on center ice. You made the first shot. Now, make after making that first shot was the center ice shot. How did that feel? Were you like, oh, I've done this before, I can do it again?
There was no pressure.
Because you already made the first shot. No,
Yeah.
and nobody expects you. How often do people make those shots anyway, right? Like nobody expects it.
The Devils used to do score in the between the second and third overtime, the second and third periods, and they bring people out. They would shoot at the blue line, and they win like a prize. And they would go to the red line, and if they made it, they won a watch and got to be put into a drawing at the end of the year for a car.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Or they got brought back on the last game to try to shoot to make it again for the car, something like that. And so it
So
was.
it's not easy.
Yeah, maybe when they had like the last at the end of the year, out of like 41 game season, there'll be like a dozen people
Yeah.
would qualify hitting it from the red line. No more than a dozen, maybe eight, 10, 9, 10, something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, that
What not a
actually,
lot of people do.
yeah. Oh, and they bring multiple people out each game, so it's not just one person each game.
Yeah, they'll bring out 3 or 4 people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So 3 or 4 people. So you figure that's just 4 people for
like
probably
160.
160 people, and at the end, maybe 8 people find that hole.
Yeah. So it's is that 5%?
Yeah,
Well, you found the hole, Frank, and you found the hole. You got it in the hole, and you got $500 for it from the center ice. That's pretty cool. And of course, I mean, everybody was going crazy in the arena. They were the Frank the Tank chant started going. Everybody was tweeting about it at Barstool, and I believe Dave got the video. Somebody sent Dave the video. Dave demanded like a video with no cuts, no clips, no edits or anything. What a performance by Frank the Tank. Probably, the most athletic Barstool personality right now.
Yeah, it's the greatest athletic feat I've ever achieved.
Yeah, for sure. Um, and but yeah, everybody was talking about Feidelberg. Mentioned that the company that sponsors it definitely got their ad money because I think the video had like 3 million views.
As last I saw, it had over 4 million.
That's wild. So yeah, so they definitely got their advertising money for it. And I think was it on the MSG network.
MSG Network showed it too.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And I'm upset that I did not make the shot. I've never shot a hockey puck before, but I did not make them. However, there were no videos of that because the only video was of you making it. So I'm glad you made it. We got a good video out of it, and they put us up in a really nice hotel, the Queensberry.
Definitely
It's
a
an old.
throwback hotel.
It is. I was glad we stayed there. You go into Holiday Inn and Best Westerns and all the whatever no free ads. You go to all these other cookie cutter hotels and it's just whatever. I mean, you're staying there for the night. It's not a big deal. But then when you go to like a nice hotel, you're like, oh, like this is like an old hotel. It was nice.
I mean, both hotels had their advantages and disadvantages, as do most hotels. I wouldn't complain about either hotel this weekend.
Oh no. I wasn't trying to complain about the one in Utica either. I was just talking about how nice the Queensberry was in Glens Falls. It reminded me when we pulled up to it. It reminded me of the plaza from Home Alone 2. Contestants of the Ding Dang Dong game show stay at the luxurious plaza. That's what it reminded me of. But we had that. Unfortunately, the Thunder. We got to do the roll call, the starting lineup
Yep.
in the Thunder locker room beforehand. I
Yep.
was ready to put on some skates. I was ready to lace up after that. I just figured we were going to say the starting lineup. Those guys were all about it, and they cheer for the team whenever you announce the player. That was fun. It was real fun.
Yeah, and right now the Devils are kind of messed up right now. It trickles down. They have some COVID issues, some injury issues. So
Mhm.
you have some good players that should be in Utica or in Newark. You have some good players who are also under COVID protocols, which means you have
Yeah.
players in Adirondack who have been called up to Utica, while players who are to fill up the roster for Adirondack, they're grabbing from like the Bush leagues of
Mhm.
the minor leagues. So basically, it trickles down that the issues that they had, and the comments really got screwed by a terrible ref.
Yeah. Well,
I
so
mean,
that's Utica. The Utica comments the second night. Yeah. Those the refs were terrible.
now going back to Adirondack for a second, they were playing Maine, and
Maine Mariners. Yep.
yep, and a familiar name happened to be there. One Jeremy Brodeur,
Door. That name sounds familiar.
and he got the win for Maine. And I actually got a DM from him saying that he wishes he was on the ice to see my shot.
Yeah. Yeah. What? And that's just. Well, I think we talked about this before. What a wild world. We still walk out of the office every now and again, and I think to myself, what am I doing in New York City? What a wild world in which Martin Brodeur's son knows Frank the Tank, like knows of you. Like
Yeah,
if someone walked up to Jeremy Brodeur and said, "Hey, do you know Frank the Tank?" He'd go, "Yeah, I know him."
I
What a
mean that you're right. That is the crazy thing. Is
what
that
there's
that means the players actually know you, and and the players know you know who we are.
yeah, that's just only with Barstool, right? Like in a normal world, there's no there's no reason Jeremy Brodeur would ever know Frank Fleming,
Nope.
but Barstool, and It's wild.
And like I said, they did. Yeah, the Utica was out a couple of their best players who are on the COVID protocol, while the
Yeah.
Devils, they're going to be the game postponed tonight. They're going to play the Tampa Bay Lightning, but which is okay. We get a chance to watch the college football playoff.
Yeah. If there was going to be a game postponed, might as well be tonight. That was one thing. And you noticed it when they were announcing like who's not playing for Utica, and you start realizing, oh, like the guys who were on like what do you call it, the taxi squad?
Taxi squad.
Yeah, so there's guys on the taxi squad that have it, and you're like, all right, well, if the guys are on the taxi squad have it, I think we even talked about it while we were in Utica. If the guys on the taxi squad have it, the guys on the team probably have it.
Well, yeah, well, so many people have it these days. It's like almost everyone has it.
Yeah, and if everyone has it, no
Nobody
one
has
has. So, but Utica was great too. We played beer pong before the game. Didn't work out in our favor. Beer pong is not our strong suit, I don't think.
Well, I think
Uh,
you have to be a little drunk and we don't drink, so we
yeah,
were at a disadvantage in beer pong.
yeah. It was a fun game. They had us throw out hot dogs. You were throwing out hot dogs on one side of the arena.
Yep.
I went to the other side of the arena. I had hot dogs in hand. They called a timeout like under 7 minutes, 6 minutes, and the guy goes, "Okay, go throw the hot dogs." And as I walk out of the tunnel, there's some like New York Rangers fans, drunk Rangers
Oh, it's
fans
always
getting.
Rangers fans. That's the thing about the Rangers. They always start the trouble.
Well, they were starting, or they were getting in a fight, and so the guys like throw the hot dogs. I'm like, there's like a fight going on right here. Like I didn't, and there was a moment where I'm like, do I step in? It's like I don't know these people. I have no like there's security here. So there's these like there's security swarming in. There's drunk Rangers fans fighting with Utica Comets fans, and then I'm just standing there. Who wants a hot dog? And I just start throwing. It was like just a wild.
What's funny is there's this kid that I was waving for hot dogs,
Mm-hmm.
and I was trying to throw it to him, and then the guy goes, just sitting his chair goes,
He's one guy like a guy next to him stole the hot dog from him.
yeah, he's gonna throw it to like a kid in the stands
Yeah.
that was waiting for the hot dog, and then the guy just like 2 rows in front of
Nope.
him, boom.
Can't say I wouldn't do the same thing. Like if I saw a hot dog coming in my direction, like it's my hot dog. But either way, but yeah, both cities were fun. Both games were fun, even with the issues we had with the ref in Utica. Still a fun time.
But yeah,
Thank you.
we saw the Utica coach Kevin Deneen throw a water bottle.
Yeah, yeah. He had to get the rest.
And I think about how Lindy Ruff doesn't get fired. Yep, Brian Flores does.
Well, we thank both teams and organizations for having us out. It was a fun weekend. The blog will be coming out soon. We're working on editing all the videos together and everything. But yeah, it was a fun weekend.
Now when you go to hockey games and you want to go out eating after the game, yes, we went to Utica and everything closes like 11 in Utica. It's like 11 o'clock and everything closes. So we found one place that was open a little bit past 11. Yeah. And I still can't get the One Bite app to work for me to give that bad review.
Well, I'll paint a little bit more of a picture. We pull in to the parking lot, and they have the chairs on top of their tables, like upside down. So, like, all right, well, that's like a clear sign they're closing. So we go in, ask if they're closed. They say, no, no, we're not closed. And then they continue mopping, and we're like, all right. So I guess we'll take these chairs down. So we took the chairs down at the nearest table, and Frank ordered the pizza, and the guys were just mopping, and we're like, all right, we're sorry, we're gonna have to we have to walk over this. He goes, people are gonna walk on it all night. Don't worry about it. It's like, all right, like I still feel bad for you mopping here. Are you guys sure you're not closed? Like, no, we're not closed. Nobody else was in the restaurant. I think there was one guy, but he left shortly after we got there. We ordered a pizza. It was probably the worst pizza. Like, and I've had school cafeteria pizza, Sam's Club pizza, Costco pizza, like,
You
just
know,
like
when you're growing up and you're like 10 years old, that school pet the cafeteria pizza isn't that bad.
no, I still don't think it would be like that bad.
Let me tell you something. The pizza they had at the courthouse, at the cafeteria at the courthouse, was better than this.
It wasn't good. It was doughy. It was greasy. The problem is when the pizza arrives and it's on the table and you can see all the grease on top of the cheese. Listen, I like greasy foods, as much as the next person, probably a little bit more. That's not what I want to see on my cheese pizza.
We grab a slice of pizza and they cut this thing weirdly. They cut it in like sixteenths. They like cut it in squares.
But in
Round
squares.
pizza cut in squares. I mean, seriously, you cut it like a pie. I mean, what is this cutting like
Yep.
nonsense? So anyway, you grab a slice and you try to bring it to your table, and the cheese slides off the pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, that was when that happened, you knew you were in trouble.
Yeah. And I tried eating it separately. I was like, I'll take a bite of cheese, bite of bread. Then like there's no sauce on it, but the taste of the sauce was probably for the best. There wasn't a lot of sauce on it. Just not a good pizza at all. Um,
I mean, these people should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, the pizza lords of America should come there and say you have lost your right to make pizza.
well, it was just I felt like Ron Swanson. When Ron Swanson ordered like steak and eggs, and they give him like what they thought was a steak or whatever, like a hamburger patty. He's like, "This isn't steak and eggs," and the guy goes, "I don't know what to tell you." He's like, "Why don't put it on the menu?" That place should not offer pizza. If that is the pizza you're going to sell, you shouldn't sell pizza. Just don't sell it. But other than that, there were some great hot dog places, or some other great, there were some great restaurants, including a few hot dog places we stopped on the way there and on the way back. And it
Yep.
was it was it was a great road trip. We hit up the Devils minor league teams. I'm open to other teams. I love minor league sports. Minor league hockey is just as fun as minor league baseball. I'm down to go to some other minor league hockey teams real soon.
I mean, yep. That's where the grassroots of the sports are, of course. Robert Manfred, he does not like minor league baseball.
No, and it's cool, especially in hockey. I don't know what their odds are. I don't know what their chances are coming up, but you know, same thing with baseball. You're going to see these guys play.
Yep.
Hey,
ECHL is your odds of making the majors are the NHL are not good.
what are they, like 1 in 10?
Yeah, the odds of an AHL player coming up to the NHL is more in the 30 to 40 range.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I mean, so there's a possibility, when you go see an ECHL game or especially an AHL game, that you're looking at a guy who's going to be in the majors, in a couple of years.
You know, uh, Paul Bissonnette. I think he spent a long time in the minors.
Yeah, before he got a shot.
Yeah, I think he actually played in the ECHL.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. The ECHL's been around for a long time. But yeah, so well, we had a great weekend. Blog will be out, hopefully within a week or so, with all the videos and everything, including your center ice shot. Um, but yeah, we've football season for us is over. But we've got the
And
championship.
The Dolphins next season is hopeless.
Frank, I mean, you're
They're not
preaching.
going to win 5 games next year. Guarantee it.
You don't think so?
Nope.
I'm curious what the Jaguars over under will be for total wins.
Probably about 5.
Yeah.
And it almost ended for the Steelers last night, except the Chargers coach was too stupid and called timeout.
Yeah, that was a crazy. It was a crazy game because it came down to everyone was talking about what if it ties? What if it ties? It almost did.
And when they called timeout, the Raiders were content to run out the clock. But then they called timeout, and so they couldn't run out the clock. They would have had to punt the ball. So they
Yeah,
handed the ball off, got enough yards that, oh, well, let's try a field goal then.
yeah. I think they were probably going to go for a field goal either way.
Yeah, but
They got
a lot
closer and it was
a lot different between kicking a 55 plus yard field goal than kicking a 47 yarder. Actually, it probably would have been close to 60 yards. They may not have kicked it. They may not have,
yeah.
worrying about a kick six, may not have kicked it.
It's a possibility. We'll never know. We'll never know. But college college football championship is tonight.
Yep.
We watch that, and then playoffs. So now that we know all the teams in the playoffs, who do you have winning the Super Bowl this year?
I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, when they're on, they're on, right?
Yeah.
They haven't had like Arizona. Arizona was what 7-0 to begin the
Yep. And
season.
when they lost to the Packers, too, remember?
Yeah, they didn't seem to play well at home.
No, they were bad at home.
No,
I actually think they had a losing record at home. I can't look that up. Let me I don't know it for 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure they had a losing record at home.
really.
Uh, or at best, or 500 at home. I know they did not play well at home all season. They only lost once on the road. They were good on the road, but they stunk it up at home. Let me see.
Yeah, no, I think Green
Yep,
Bay is
Arizona
well.
Cardinals 8-1 on the road, 3-5 at home.
It's wild. Well, so Green Bay Packers. I feel like that's a probably a solid bet. Um, might have to go with Will Compton. He's still on the Raiders, and as long as Will Compton's on the Raiders, I think they have a real shot.
Let me see. Here's something interesting. The Raiders. Well, okay. The Steelers too. The Steelers are like cockroaches. They just survive sometimes, like
Yeah.
wildly
Well, yeah. I
survive.
mean, they need the Jaguars to win. They had to win, and then no tie. So I mean, yeah, you make it in crazy ways, but it should be a good game today. Who do you have tonight for college football championship? You got Alabama.
I got Alabama.
Yeah. Well, it'll be a good game, I think.
I don't.
I think it'll be much closer than the SEC conference. Really,
I think
you
it's
think
gonna be a
Alabama's going to
blowout.
blow them out of the water?
I think it's gonna be a
Well, there you
blowout.
go. Well, this will air tomorrow, so people be watching, knowing the answer already. But that's Barstool units.
Yep. Well,
Crazy recap of the.
right now it's a quarter to five, so people will know when I get the score right on the nose. Uh, I'm picking. I'm picking Alabama to win 41-10.
41-10.
41-10.
That sounds silly. That sounds
It's
silly.
going to be
I'm gonna
27
say
nothing at the half.
really
Yes,
no.
it's going to be a real
I'm
fun
gonna say
game. It's going to be the ESPN announcers blathering and talking and filling dead air for the last quarter.
Georgia 47-42.
Only way
But
Georgia
we'll
wins
see.
is if it's a low scoring game.
No way. No
Yep.
way. Well, we'll
Georgia
see. We'll see.
Georgia wins the game if it's in the 20s. If it goes in the 40s, they have no shot.
You think so?
Yep.
Yeah, but you also think the Dolphins are going to trade Howard.
They're gonna trade Howard. You watch. And they'll
All right,
hire
I'm sorry.
Brian Nagy or Matt Nagy. They'll hire Matt Nagy, and Matt Nagy will they will go 1-16, and they'll trade their number one pick next year so they can get more first seventh rounders because they love those seventh rounder picks. And Myles Gaskin will be 18 years with the Dolphins and have a total of 200 yards rushing.
You think they'd keep him on the team that long without any
Yes.
rushing yards?
Yeah. Well, he's and Tua Tagovailoa next year is going to set a record. He's going to have average 2.2 yards per pass. Myles Gaskin is going to average 1.1 yards per pass, and the Dolphins are going to have a total of 27 first downs. They're going to lose every game by 30 points, and they're going to just and Chris Chris says that it's good to have seven rounders. They have heart. And they don't. They're not good. You don't really need them. They play with their spirit, and they're special.
We'll see.
In fact, the
That's
Dolphins are going to trade the number one pick for Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah. They want that last pick.
Yep, and Mr. Irrelevant parade is going to be moved to Dolphins Stadium.
That's Barstool Units. Frank, as always, it's a pleasure. Please take us out.
Why do all my teams just piss me off all the fucking time? The Mets are going to sign Juan Soto's brother. Now that fell through, and now they don't have any international signings. They completely fucked that up. Even when the Mets look like they're about to turn things around, they fuck it up. It just never fucking stops.
Well, click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.